Hi guys, I'm Gasha. Welcome to the channel and welcome as always to our coffee times. And as you may have noticed, my background is a little bit different. And today I am here to talk to you about all the books that are coming out in the month of January.
It's coffee time.
I don't want this video to be too long, so this is just a quick live update. We have been in the new house for a couple weeks now and everything, it's still a mess. Hashtag real life. So if you've ever moved into a house, you probably know there are so many things to do, to fix. Also, we've been in a lockdown here in the Netherlands, so we've not been able to do like proper furniture shopping, so we've been ordering things online, but a lot of stores are really low on stock because of that as well, so it's been a challenge. So we still have a lot of things to do around here, but I didn't want to miss this video. I know you guys really wait every month for the new releases videos that I put up in my channel, and I didn't want to disappoint. And I also really was craving to come back to my channel and to film again. I've really missed it. Like when you take a break, sometimes you feel like you're not gonna miss maybe doing videos and uploading and all of that, but I did miss it a lot. So this has shown me how much I love to do these videos and, you know, to have my channel, have you guys there. And I'm so excited to start 2022 back on my channel, and hopefully we will be back to a regular uploading schedule soon. But for now, I'm here to talk to you about some horror, some thrillers that are coming out in the month of January. I know this video is coming up a little bit late, but I tried my best and I really did a lot of investigation. So I have a total of 17 titles, and I hope this video, even though it comes late, it compensates that maybe some of these books you've never heard of and maybe you would like to give them a try. Holy Terror by Sherry Priest. These has been set in the category fantasy, but these are hunting short fiction stories, and you will have here bizarre stories as a soldier bringing back home a dragon from World War II, as well as the disappearance of a boat on 1870. And I believe this story is told from the perspective of the captain of the boat and the passengers. So these are perhaps tales for people that are looking for more bizarre horror combined with a little bit of fantasy. The Phantom Circuit by Austin Farmer, and this is a horror book in which we follow a girl that is 28 years old, and when she was a kid she used to play the game of Bloody Mary with her sister. Now her sister sadly passed away, and not only with her dealing with the loss of her sister, there is a hacker that is trying to delete her sister's Facebook page, and on top of that he brought up the topic of Bloody Mary, so she's going to have to get to the bottom of things. It Will End Like This by Kira Lake, and this is a YA horror thriller, and in this story it is said to be kind of a tale that is going to remind you that endings in life are not the happily ever after endings that we know from fairy tales. This is also supposed to be a kind of modern take on the story of Lizzie Borden, and it has to do with grief. So all of these sounds fantastic. Last time I read a retelling on Lizzie Borden, it really disappointed me, but this one sounds perfect and I really like the cover, so I feel like this one really has to go to my TBR. Charlotte lost her mother 6 months ago, and the only thing that they told her is that she had a heart attack, that it was all of a sudden. But Charlotte does not believe this story, and she's going to have to get to the bottom of things. On top of that, his father marries nearly suddenly another woman, so she's gonna have to go through a lot. This also sounds a little bit Cinderella-ish now that I'm talking about it, but yeah, I'm really excited about this one. Where the Drowned Girls Go by Sean Maguire, and this is book 7 on the Wayward Children series. I have read and loved this series. I think I only need to read the very last one. This is all based on children that at some point when they were kids, they were able to open a door to a different world, and when they came back to the real world, they had trouble adapting back to reality. So some of them were sent to these wayward school for children, and when the children cannot be fixed in that school, now apparently we have a different type of school which is a lot darker and sinister, where kids that are unable to go back to reality are being sent. The Girl in the Lake by India Hill Brown is a middle grade horror, and this is also by the author that wrote The Forgotten Girl, which is on my wish list but I still have not got to, but I heard really good things about it. We follow this girl that should be excited because she's going to spend 2 weeks with her grandparents and cousins at a beautiful house at a lake. But all she can think about is like bad reception, no internet, you know, everything is covered in mud. So she's not really actually looking forward to it. And on top of that, when she gets there, she starts to make mysterious discoveries. She starts to hear footsteps in the night, all of these things, and I'm really excited to see what she's going to discover in this lake. Now comes one of my most anticipated releases for 2022, and that is In Every Generation by Kendara Blake. And why is this one of my most anticipated books? Well, because it is the start of a new series of books based on the universe of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Need I say more? And this is of course YA, and I've already ordered it, but I don't know how quickly it's gonna be delivered because apparently there's delay with books here in the Netherlands as well. But it is ordered, it is on the way to me, and I'm gonna read it as soon as I get it because I'm really excited. If you guys don't know, I've absolutely loved Buffy the Vampire Slayer since it was released. I used to watch it with my dad back in the day. I recently rewatched the whole thing a couple years ago, and I still love it as much. As far as I know, in this story we are going to follow Willow's daughter that is a witch, but also is going to be one of the new slayers. So she's gonna have to kind of juggle that between being a witch and being a new slayer. And this book is supposed to give us a new generation of vampire slayers, and it's just so nostalgic to me. Like, can you see I'm getting emotional? Yeah, I'm super excited. So needless to say, I hope this one is not gonna disappoint me because it's one of my most anticipated books for this year. Reckless Girls by Rachel Hawkins is a new mystery thriller in which we follow a girl named Lux, and she kind of has been looking for the perfect excuse to leave Hawaii and her job, and she gets an offer to go on a boat and take 2 girls to an island, which she obviously takes. And of course, when they get to the island, something's wrong there. They're apparently kind of unable to leave the island. They are unable to communicate with the outside world, something like that. I don't love to read too much of the synopsis of mystery thrillers because I feel like sometimes the synopsises, they give things away. So this is all that I know, but I am excited and intrigued by this premise. I am a sucker as well for stories that take place in islands and places where you are unable to get out of. The Girl in the Corn by Jason Afoot, and this is a psychological horror story in which we follow a now adult man that remembers things that happened in his childhood, and one of those things involves fairies. So when Thomas was a kid, he claimed to see fairies in the cornfields, and apparently that's the reason why his parents sent him to an institution to kind of treat him. And now as an adult, he thinks he is meeting people from his past and will try to uncover a little bit what happened to him when he was a kid, and obviously if he actually really did get to see fairies or if it was just his imagination. A Flicker in the Dark by Stacey Willingham, and this one sounds fantastic. This is a mystery thriller, and we follow the story of a girl that, let's say, didn't have a good childhood. When Chloe was 12, 6 girls disappeared. They went missing, and on top of that, the police arrested her dad as a serial killer, and they locked him up for the disappearance of these girls. So basically, her childhood was not the best. Now 20 years later, Chloe is a psychologist. She is trying to help girls that have traumas, and her life seems to be pretty good. She's about to marry, everything is good in life, but then teenage girls start disappearing again. The Awakening, and this one sounds extremely interesting to me because it has to do with an exorcism and a really old demon seeking vengeance. So 50 years ago, we have a priest that at the beginning of his career 50 years ago, he defeated a demon, he exorcised the demon, and now this demon is coming back. He's already a retired priest, but the demon comes back for him to seek revenge. Also, this demon has some pending business with other people. So basically he's targeting different characters that are all going to have to face a demon from their past, the same demon. I'm really intrigued about this. I love this premise, and yeah, this is another one that I really need to check. Such a Pretty Smile by Christy Demi-Easter, and this is a horror thriller, and this is supposed to be about strong females, about angry men, and about, you know, the people that are trying to silence women. So this sounds really interesting to me. So there's something that is killing women in this book. Specifically, girls are turning into women, and it's called the Cur. Now, I don't know if this is a sickness, some sort of curse that they get, but this is something that only girls that don't comply, that don't follow the rules, those are the girls that get this kind of sickness. So I am really excited about this book. It sounds really intriguing. Mestiza Blood by B. Castro. It's a compilation of short horror stories. Now these are kind of nightmares and horror stories, all based on urban legends, on folklore stories, and they are all based also in Chicana. So if you loved her previous novel, I do feel like you're going to enjoy this one. I still have not checked out anything by this author, but I did see that a lot of people enjoyed her other works. The Keeper by Guadalupe Garcia Maco, and this is a middle grade horror, and it is inspired in terrifying true events, and it focuses on what happens when you move to a new neighborhood and you have a secret past. So James always knew that it was going to be hard to move from Texas to Oregon, but he didn't know how hard it was actually going to be. The new neighborhood, the new house, everything seems perfect, the people seem perfect. However, he starts to have the feeling that someone's watching him, and then these mysterious letters arrived signed by someone called the Keeper. So really interested about checking this one out. Devil House by John Darnielle, and this is a horror book that I am extremely excited about because there is also a trope in horror books that I really love, and I feel like it is influenced a little bit by Stephen King, but here we are, and that is horror writers or writers in general in horror books. So we follow here a horror writer, and he had a, you know, big success with one thing, and after that nothing, and he has been really struggling, and he gets the offer to go to this house called the Devil House because some gruesome murders were committed in that house, which also of course is reminding me to other books that I have read, but I'm still really interested to check this one out. Tales from the Typewriter by Mark Allen Gunnels, and this is from the Rewind or Die series number 32. And this is about a published author that had a typewriter, and 10 years after his suicide, someone else bought this typewriter, and this person starts to realize that sometimes in the middle of the night the typewriter is just typing by itself, and it might be the previous owner trying to finish his unpublished works. Hold My Place by Cassandra Windwalker, and this is a story about a woman. She's a librarian, and she makes the mistake of falling in love with a married man. So she starts a relationship with this married man, and after his wife passes away in mysterious circumstances, Cassandra starts to investigate and discovers that this man has had previous wives, and they've all kind of died shortly after. they were with him, and she starts to actually worry that there might be something really wrong with this man. Road of Bones by Christopher Golden, and this is a horror thriller set in Siberia, so it's going to be perfect for winter season if you still have cold weather and you're looking for a nice thriller that is based somewhere that it's cold. This might be the one that you're looking for. And it's also based on a famous trail that the Soviet Union used to use to put people there for punishment and tortures, and there's a lot of dead bodies that are supposed to be buried underneath the snow. So this documentary producer that hears about the story of this road and all of the bones of the deceased that might be still there decides to go, of course, with a filming crew to make a documentary there, and things might go as we hope. Horror lovers, thriller lovers, we hope. Let's be honest, you hope that too. You hope that things go wrong. You hope that people get hurt. And that's what you're gonna get in this story. Alright guys, so this was everything that I had on my list. Some horror, some thriller books that are coming out in the month of January. Let me know down below if there's anything else that I missed that came out in January that might be interesting to me. And I hope that even though this video is coming up a little bit late, you still found things in this list that you hadn't heard of and you might have interest in picking up. So thank you guys so much for all your patience waiting for my content, for all your support, everybody that has reached out to me through the M's just to wish me well, to wish me the best in the new place. Like, I really appreciate you guys, and it means the world to me that you have been so patient waiting for my content. I have a lot of good things coming up your way. I have a small video on how I organize my shelves. I also have to admit that there is a book haul coming, a big one, because I might have been treating my shelves a little bit too much lately, because with the whole stress of moving, I kind of decided that I needed to treat myself as well. Excuses, I mean, do you hear yourself? Do you hear yourself? Anyways, there will be a book haul coming soon of some horror books that I've added to the collection, so be on the lookout for that as well. But I hope to be back with a proper schedule, with more content and more horror recommendations, you know, my typical videos that I always upload. But I do have new plans for the channel for the new year, so there will be new segments on the channel that will be coming out later. So I hope that you stick with me and that we celebrate 2022 with a lot of horror, a lot of coffee, and together. So I hope to see you all guys, as always, in our next coffee times. Bye!